tell you, sir, this is the ticket everybody wishes they had. It's the only speeding ticket where you don't get any points. So in other words, the trooper already used their discretion to write you a ticket. They didn't write you for going 18 over. They only wrote you for 1 to 5 over. And then, like I said, that ticket has a fines and costs to it to the court, but it does not get points with Secretary of State. But what is it you'd like to say, sir?
I wasn't even paying attention to my speed. I was honestly just trying to warm up my car. It was very cold that morning. There weren't any other cars on the road. I wasn't trying to be reckless. And as soon as my car warmed up was about the time, I believe, when officer passed me and got me on his radar. And I was already slowing down because my car was getting warmer. And as you can tell, I think on the ticket, the speed was already coming down. It wasn't because I saw him. It was just, I was warming up my car. The engine warmed up. I was a couple miles or minutes after I started the engine. And I was on my way to church, really. It was a men's Bible study. I wasn't in a rush. I was just trying to warm up my car.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep. This says that back on November 20 of the year 2021, while on 128th Avenue there in Hopkins Township, you were driving while license suspended. That is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 93 days in jail and or $500 fines and costs. You feel like you understand the charge?
Yeah, I understand.
And do you wish to enter a plea of guilty or not guilty to that charge at this time?
I don't think my license is suspended, but I'm not sure, so I don't know.
All right, that counts as not guilty. We'll set you for a jury trial. You can continue to represent yourself for free like you are today, or you could always hire an attorney. I'm going to give you a $300 PR bond or personal recognizance. That means you do not have to post any money. We're essentially just trusting you that you'll keep coming back to court, but that is no driving without a valid driver's license. We just need to check your address then. Dove Court, is that a good address for you?
Yes, my license are fine. I don't have no restrictions or anything on my license.
Okay.
Like, I have my license. But yes, that is
you're
my
going to
address.
get a next court date in courtroom A in front of Judge Scotchless. That'll get sent out to you in the mail along with new Zoom instructions. That's the next time you're doing court.
What day?
Ma'am, there is no day. I said the date is going to get sent out to you at that address along with new Zoom instructions. That'll be the next time you're doing court in courtroom A in front of Judge Scotchless. First time you get to talk to a prosecutor and then hopefully resolve your issues. But you're all set for today. You can go ahead and go.
Okay, and this is a Zoom. The next one is a Zoom as well?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just
all
making
right,
sure.
Mr. Ramirez Gutierrez, you able to hear me?
Damn, you ain't gonna let me finish talking to you?
Well, ma'am, you didn't listen to what I said. The two things you asked
I
were
did
things I already
listen. If I
covered.
don't understand something, I'm gonna ask questions. The fuck? I wanted to ask questions because I didn't understand you. But okay,
all right, well, I'll tell you what, we're going to put you back in the waiting room.
True. I wait on my paper in the mail. That's rude. Damn.
We'll put you back in the waiting room. I'll answer any questions you have, but I'm trying to move fast so everyone else doesn't sit around and wait.
I'm fine.
Just remove her. All right, Mr. Ramirez Gutierrez, you able to hear me?
Ms. Peters, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me take a look at this here. Contested hearing. Defendant was the causing driver of a car versus ditch non-injury collision in which your vehicle departed the roadway to the right and entered the ditch.
Yes, sir.
Before colliding with a Department of Transportation sign. The collision appeared to be the result of distracted, fatigued, or impaired driver, or of a medical episode. Hang on a second, don't answer. I just want to read this. The defendant was unable to recall any specific reason why her vehicle left the roadway. Stating at first she thought it might have slipped on ice, but realized quickly it was not icy out. There did not appear to be any justification for her vehicle to have left the roadway. She denied being on the phone or being tired, experiencing a medical episode, and she was obviously not impaired. Defendant admitted she may have been distracted by thought, adding that she had been thinking about a new horse she has been considering. Well, now, did you actually leave the roadway because you were thinking about a horse?
Sir, I was just on autopilot. I was just driving home. It hit about 35 degrees, about 40. I let my animals out for the day. So I was just driving home to Rialto, and I took that corner a little too hard and pulled me right in.
Well, that would explain it, maybe. Well, what corner was it?
So, right off the bridge, there's BMP, I believe it's called, the bridge, and right there, Wap John's, I believe Wap John's business is right there. Right there, it gets really slick. Unfortunately, there's been about 2 other accidents right there.
Yeah. It shall be unlawful to operate any motor vehicle, whatever, with one wheel or all of the wheels off the roadway, except as permitted by a different statute. So, in effect, you're not supposed to drive off the road. But you lost control of your vehicle and he didn't write you up for reckless driving. What was the weather like? What was it like out there when you were driving?
It just stopped raining about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah. So we think you just hit the curve too fast, huh?
I wasn't driving over the speed limit, but it gets really slick right there, and you just, from what the guy that told me, that was towing my car, unfortunately, a bunch of people get pulled in right there. It's really easily to pull out, multiple people out of there.
Oh, let's take a look at this.
Unfortunately, it was my brand new car,
Oh, yeah?
brand new 2023, only had $9,000 to pay off on it.
Is it fixed yet?
They said because my bags deployed that they're not going to fix it, they're going to total it out.
Oh, nice. You had a great day, didn't you?
No.
You had a great day. Highway 101, milepost 193. How far is that away from town?
Not even a mile. I would say about 3,000 feet. It's right the bridge. My car already hit that. If you ever driven out of town, which I'm sure you have, going towards PA, your tire kind of gets sucked right there, and my car did. And then I was driving and I hit that other spot that kind of is slick.
Yeah, and they're having problems down there like you're talking about, because people drive a little too fast through there.
I believe some people do drive pretty fast down there.
Well, did you say you're in the academy right now? Is that what I heard?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, what we're gonna do, you don't have any past traffic tickets, do you?
The only time I've been pulled over is my cab was expired because someone stole my wallet and they stole all my information. They stole all my everything. I got pulled over. My tabs were expired, but I couldn't renew them because I didn't have my license. He told me just fix it, and then the next week I had it fixed.
Hang on a second.
There was one other time someone tried to steal my identity. I sorted that out. It was during COVID. They were trying to use my ID to pay their tickets.
Yeah.
But that's the only other thing.
That's a modern problem. We didn't used to have that. Well, was thinking about doing a deferred with you, but I'm thinking about see if you do a deferred, if you pay the ticket and then you don't get any new action for a year, the case gets dismissed. Go ahead. Yes, ma'am.
Insurance companies that defer it or not.
We can't do a deferred because it's been reported to the insurance company. Isn't that something? Well, so I guess there's another way of looking at this, kind of a defense attorney way to look at this. So the offense is driving off the roadway, but you didn't actually drive off the roadway, did you?
No, sir,
Your car left the road. Actually, what you're guilty of is negligent driving.
yes, sir.
If he had written you up for negligent driving in the second degree, I'd have to find, based on what you said, that you were negligent driving because you by your own admission, you took the curb too fast. See what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
That is negligent driving. But I'm going to find that you weren't actually driving off the roadway because I don't think there was any intention to drive. So I'm cutting you a break, but I don't want to hear any more about you driving too fast. How about that? I'll drive slower if you drive slower.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. See you later. We're just going to say now.
And with that, Deputy, you want to start the narrative somewhere where it makes sense, explain the issuing of this citation?
Sure. So on this date, I was assisting another deputy with a traffic stop by providing extra emergency lights on the highway. I observed Mr. Ivy in his vehicle traveling in the lane closest to us. Both of our vehicles had our emergency lights on. As I mentioned, he was in the lane nearest to us. I observed him go by us at a high rate of speed, at which point I initiated a traffic stop and make contact with him. He advised that he was using his cruise control and did not have a spot to get over into the other lane of travel. So then he was issued the citation.
All right. The only thing is, Deputy, I did not hear you testify as to whether or not you thought he had the option to move over.
I couldn't observe that, but with his statement that he was using his cruise control, that told me that he did not slow down.
All right. And Mr. Ivy, what is it you wish to tell me?
So, yes, I did have my cruise control set. It was set to, I believe, 75 or somewhere around there. And he was stopped. He was on the left-hand side of the road, and he was parked directly behind the person who was doing the traffic stop. I didn't necessarily notice them immediately. There was no cones placed or anything. So I by the time I realized, I did hit my brakes to turn off my cruise control. But when I looked to my right, I noticed that there was another vehicle in the way. So I couldn't immediately switch lanes. And yeah, it kind of resulted in a time frame where I kind of ended up passing him before I was able to get over due to the car next to me.
So I will explain to you, essentially, this law is first and foremost, what you got to do is move over to that other lane. Now,
Correct.
That's not always an option. And we understand that. And I think the deputy's not even trying to say you didn't have that option. He's just going by what you're saying, that there was cars there. So that's fine. If you can't do plan A, you have to do plan B. And what plan B is to significantly reduce your speed before you pass those cars. So the problem is that essentially, where you're at with your cruise control is not significantly reducing the speed as you pass the officers. So that would be you failing to yield to the emergency vehicle. So option one, move over. If you can't, just slow down a lot. The officers, the state police, the deputies, whoever it is, probably not going to write you the ticket if they can see that at least you're trying to slow down significantly when you can't move over. But if you're just going by at normal speed, you're going to get this ticket, and it's an expensive one. Just so you know, it's an expensive one because it used to be a crime. This used to be a misdemeanor crime. They reduced it down to a ticket, so it's not on your criminal record, but it is kind of pricey. So because you had a hearing, I did find you responsible. Here's your options. You can say, I accept that finding of responsibility, and you make arrangements when you call the district court to pay your fines and costs. But you do have the right to say, I don't agree with what just happened there. I want to go to my formal hearing. Mr. Dykehouse, it makes a lot more sense for me to start with the officer. He has the burden to establish to me why you were issued a citation in the first place. But after that, you'll have an opportunity to either ask questions or testify on your own behalf, all right?
Yep.
And with that, officer, you want to pick up the narrative somewhere where it makes sense to explain the issuing of this citation.
So I was sitting stationary in the empty lot, which is right next to the Noonday Market gas station, pulled up along 129th there with a clear view of the stop signs. I was actually looking at the stop signs for anyone running. I observed Mr. Dykehouse drive through the stop sign without stopping, pulled behind him, activated my lights and initiated a stop, and I issued a citation for disregarding the stop sign.
Okay. And sir, what is it you'd like to tell me?
I got a question. Do we have a video of it all?
You can ask the officer that, but I doubt there's video.
There's no video.
I'm asking the officer then. There's no video?
No.
Okay, what exit did I use?
What exit did you use?
The furthest east or the center exit?
I mean, I don't remember off the top of my head.
Well, the furthest east exit makes a big difference because there's like 500,000, well, not 500 yards probably from where you're sitting to that exit.
You can clearly view both of those exits from where I was.
Your vehicle was facing directly north, correct? It was not on an angle facing my direction. You're just backed in facing directly north, correct?
That's correct. And I was watching the stop signs.
Was the windows down or up?
The window was up.
The windows were down. It was raining.
I said the window was
I believe
up.
you testified the window.
The window was up. Okay, there we go. Then was your laptop in the center console on your vehicle and open with all kinds of lights shining in there?
I was able to see your vehicle go through the stop sign. I don't know.
Actually, I didn't. That's my argument is I did stop.
Okay.
And from your view, it's 500 yards roughly. I wish I could measure it. But your view on a dark, rainy night, you can barely see the vehicles pulling in and out of there from where you're sitting, especially if the windows are up, if there's rain on your windows, and then you're going to make that judgment call.
Are you asking him a question or are you testifying on your own behalf?
Okay, I'm doing both, I guess, because I don't know the proper procedure and I apologize. Okay. But I'm asking, with the windows up and you're saying your vision wasn't obscured at all with water on your windows?
I could clearly see your vehicle.
Well, and that's where I debate it because you can't clearly see from where you're sitting in that distance. The furthest east is 500 plus yards on a rainy, one of the darkest nights. It's like when it's no moon, nothing, just clouds. It's dark. I'm objecting to the call. Okay.
Okay. Anything further you'd like to testify to, sir?
It was a bad judgment call.
Mr. Dykehouse, you're in court. Please refrain from smoking a cigarette.
I'm working. I'm working.
Right.
I'm sorry.
You got anything else you want to say, sir?
No.
All right, sir, I need you to stay in one place where you're going to get reception because you're breaking up. So if you could stop moving around and go back to where you were, where we could hear you just fine.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I had a piece of equipment. That's why I was trying to move out of so I couldn't hear them. So on site.
Anything else you'd like to testify to?
No, just my objection to the judgment call because of the lack of visibility and the distance that he was making the judgment call. It was a sole judgment call. And for running a private parking lot stop sign, which I stopped.
So given the evidence here that's presented to me, I would find you responsible for this citation as written. Now, because you had a contested hearing, you do have a right, sir, to say, I don't agree with what just happened there. I wish to go to what's called formal hearing. Formal hearing is in front of the district court judges with the prosecutor's office, and we can't get you out of here. This is a citation that was issued on January 7th of this year on 20th Street there in Watson Township. It is a speeding citation on an actual 71 and a 55. However, the trooper chose to only write this as a 1 to 5 over. So you're here on this, Mr. Keeler, to do one of three things. First is you could admit responsibility to the citation, or two, admit responsibility, but you'd like to provide some sort of explanation as to how or why this happened. Or three, you wish to contest this citation. In other words, fight the ticket at what we call informal hearing. What were you looking to do?
I'm looking to, I would say, I'm just looking to fight it just because.
Okay, I just want to be clear, you do not have a ticket for going 16 miles over the speed limit. You have a ticket for going 1 to 5 over the speed limit. You want to fight that ticket? That's fine, that's your right. What we're going to do here is have what we call informal hearing. Trooper, can you hear me?
Yes,
I noticed
sir.
your audio came in and out. All right. So even though we cannot see you, I'd ask you raise your right hand. Mr. Keeler, you need to raise your right hand so I can swear you both in. Do you swear or affirm that any testimony you give here today would be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Keeler, it makes a lot more sense for me to start with the trooper. He has the burden to establish to me why you were issued the citation in the first place. But after that, you'll have an opportunity to either ask questions or testify in your own behalf. All right?
Okay.
And with that, trooper, if you want to pick up the narrative somewhere it makes sense, explain the issuing of this citation.
Yes, sir. So I am a certified MCOS radar operator, and the radar unit that I was being used is also certified by the state of Michigan Radar Task Force. The radar unit being used was in proper working condition, and the accuracy of the radar unit was verified at the beginning, during, and at the end of my shift on the date of the incident here. The radar is a fixed mounted unit that is attached to the dash of my patrol vehicle. On the date of the citation, I was conducting moving radar at the location near 20th Street and 118th Avenue. At this location, I visually observed a target vehicle coming towards my direction, which was southbound down a hill. And according to my radar, the target was moving approximately 70 miles per hour southbound near 20th Street and 118th Avenue in Watson Township. Then once the driver of the vehicle saw my patrol vehicle, the audible signal in my radar went down, as well as what my speed indicator. And so I proceeded to pull over to the side of the road and waited for the incoming vehicle. That's when I turned around and conducted a traffic stop and made contact with Mr. Nathan here. And I informed him of the violation, informed him that I had gotten him going 70 miles per hour in a 55 mile per hour zone. I indicated to him that it was possibly due to the hill. He was going downhill. So I gave him the benefit of the doubt. At that time, I informed him that I was going to give him a citation for going 5 over instead of the 15 over. And then I asked him if he understood my everything I had informed him of, and he said yes. And then after that, I cleared the stop, and Mr. Nathan was back on his way.
Okay. And sir, what is it you'd like to tell me?
So, yes, sir, that did happen. So my car is a manual car, and I turned off of, I believe it was 122nd. It was the road right before that hill, and I was climbing this hill. And from 122nd, from where I crested that hill to where I saw the cop in the first place, there was a second hill between us. And I put it on my maps, and it was 1.03 miles away from the top of that hill from where I saw the officer. I never made it past fifth gear in my car. And I admit I was speeding a little bit, but at 1.03 miles away, with the research I've done, it seems everything I've found that the radar detectors over 1,000 feet can start to have issues. Like, it very well could be working correctly, and I believe it was. And I believe the officer did everything right according to the book, and what he believed right. I'm sure he did everything under law. He did nothing wrong. But I just believe at the distance where I saw him first, and when my car was in fifth gear, it has 6 gears. And with a manual, if you let off the gas, it slows you down already. And the highest speed I saw on my speedometer was 62. Yes, I admit I was speeding, but I don't believe that the officer would have pulled me over on a country road that far away if I was actually going 62. And then when you let off on a manual, even in fifth gear, it'll slow you down dramatically, even going down a hill.
Okay, but let's make a long story short here. You're actually admitting to speeding worse than the ticket you're trying to fight. So what am I supposed to do with that information? I'm supposed to decide whether or not you were going at least 1 to 5 over, and you're here admitted to me you're going 7 over. So what is it you would like me to do other than find you responsible on the ticket? That's what I don't understand.
I just don't believe I would have been pulled over. And the officer, he told me, he said there could have been another car that he didn't see. Or he said it could have been the hill and how it could have messed with the system. And I just don't believe I would have been pulled over if it went off at 62.
Okay, but you're asking me to rule on a hypothetical ticket that you don't have, right? You're saying, instead of the testimony that I just heard about how the machine said you're going 70 and he gave you a break and wrote you for 1 to 5 over, forget all that. What you'd like to do is give me a hypothetical situation where you're only going 62. There's something wrong. You don't know what it is, but there's something wrong with the radar equipment that it was probably saying 70, even though you were really only 62. And so if it was really only 62 and the radar was working properly, then the trooper in this hypothetical situation probably wouldn't have pulled you over. Therefore, and so you wouldn't have gotten that fake ticket that doesn't exist. You should get what on the ticket that does exist that you've admitted you were going even faster than that? What is it you want me to do to it?
I'm just looking to not have the points on my license.
Okay.
Because I can't afford the insurance rates.
Well, here, how about this? I won't give you any points on this ticket.
Okay.
Because the points don't come from the court. They come from the Secretary of State anyway. So there's nothing I could do about the points either way. All I can do is decide, did you do the ticket as it's written, right? And we both know that you did because you're even admitting you are. There's a fine you pay the court. That's it. The points you're going to get from Secretary of State, I have no control over what they do about the points. You'd have to talk to them about that.
Okay.
Or you could also, because I would find you responsible on this particular citation the way it's written, you would also have a right to say, hey, I don't agree with what just happened there. I want to go to what's called formal hearing in front of the district court judges with the prosecutor's office. You could put on a more formal hearing if you wish, where you're contesting the accuracy and sort of how that radar works. But you're doing it here in a very sort of layperson way, saying you read something online that it may not work at 1,000 feet or something. I don't think that's going to be the testimony from the trooper. I think that they're accurate considerably farther than that. But you're just, I mean, I see what you're trying to tell me, but you're really not presenting that strong of a case for the ticket you actually have. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Now, if you want, I can explain to you how to get rid of those points.
Okay, I would love that.
All right.
I guess this, to plead guilty with an explanation and
All
see
right.
if the
What is it
court
you'd like to tell me?
can't help me.
The good news is you don't have to plead guilty. That's to a crime. You're only just admitting responsibility. It's wimpier than a crime. It's just a ticket.
All right.
Go ahead and tell me what you want to tell me.
All right, I was the victim of a crime several years ago that makes me legally blind in one eye because my eye was destroyed. Because of that, I have bad depth perception. The truck that I was following, what happened is he slammed on his brakes and at the last minute turned on his turning signal. What also happened at that same time is I am a person, when I sneeze multiple times. So I started to sneeze as that gentleman was doing what he did, and I didn't see him in enough time to be able to stop.
Okay. Yeah, so
Now,
essentially, any time that the front of your vehicle hits the back of the vehicle in front of you, you're going to get this ticket.